and support. I appreciate you all. A child who says the mother will not sleep will not also sleep. On the 25th of April 2026, Mali did not wake up to a good news because there were some group of people who coordinated to cause a destabilization, because there are people who are sitting outside of the continent who believes for decades that the continent belonged to them. Everything here belonged to them. So for that matter, when we ask them to move, we have offended them. To escape, we change. But these people rather went and regrouped to come back the second time to attack Mali. On 1st May and then 2nd May, our leaders, the General Armed Force of Mali, released a statement about how they have captured a group of people on another border who are trying to come back into Mali again to cause the destabilization. But this time round, the Russian African Corps and the Malian armed forces, they will not sit and be waiting for them to come. And it will be like they are now in the defense front. So they will go after these people. And they are using drones and a lot of high-tech equipment to monitor these people whereabouts. And unfortunately on their part, they met them in one particular border that they were planning to come back again into Mali to cause that destabilization. According to the statement that was issued by FAMA, the General Staff of the Armies informed the national public that as part of the ongoing offensive reconnaissance mission across the entire national territory, the area assets of the Malian Armed Forces, FAMA, successfully carried out targeted strikes this Saturday, May 2nd, against a major cache of weapons of ammunition belonging to T groups southeast of the locality of Goma Rarov. The assessment of the result indicates that several terror were neutralized along with the total destruction of the arms and ammunition cache. The Chief of the General Staff of the Armies congratulates the FAMA for their determination and their unwavering commitment to the service of national defense. The two groups will be hunted down to their final strongholds across the entire national territory. United, we shall overcome. So this is the communique that was released by the National Armed Force of Mali, because now they are saying that they will hunt these people to the last breath, because people have made sure that we will not have peace. And we saw that Emmanuel Macron quickly came out and issued a statement telling his people to leave Mali because there is no peace, there is destabilization. He didn't want to ask them to leave before this attack so that it could mean like he knew that something of that sort was going to happen. So they just have to tap cool, and then when these things happen, they will not tell the whole world like he came out and issued, so we wouldn't know.
Family, for those who thought that the attacks of the 25th of April against Mali was done, I want to let you know that something happened last Friday. You know, when the Malian soldiers plus the AES task force plus the Africa Corps, right, when they neutralized thousands of those monsters who were sent to the pit of hell on the 25th and the 26th, a lot of them also succeeded to run away. Some escaped using their lorries, their bikes and all of that. And it didn't end there. It did not end there, people. They had to start regrouping themselves again at the border between Mali and a neighboring country. Report says thousands of them regrouped again at that border between Mali and the neighboring country, and they were planning another very big assault against Mali. What they did not know was that the Malian armed forces, the AES task force, and the Africa Corps, they are not there to play a defensive game anymore. So while they were regrouping, they didn't know that they were under serious monitoring. So the Malian army and their partners had to trace and track them using drones and other equipment that they used to track and trace them. And before those guys could realize, they were raining down brimstone on them to a point where they could literally not escape. Reports are saying 2,000 of them were neutralized again on that day. Unfortunately, a few had to escape because you guys know, right? Most of the neighbors have refused to work in collaboration with Malian soldiers because they are literally the ones who are supporting those guys to come attack Mali. So that was another great harvest that the Malian armed forces recorded again on Friday, the 1st of May and the 2nd of May, which was Saturday. And they would continue to do that. The Malian government has decided that they will not work again on a defensive side. They have decided going forward, they are going to be on the offensive. Before you even plan it, you are taken down without any mercy.
The people are not ready to let us have peace. And the most saddened part is the African leaders who are still sitting here, eating democracy, talking about unity, talking about how the African will reclaim his or her sovereignty. Yet, your brothers and sisters in Mali are going through this, and instead of all of us as Africans to unite, we still have these politicians who are sitting down watching what is happening in Mali as if it's not part of their problem. But these are the same people who go around preaching democracy, preaching Pan-Africanism, talking about how the African must regain the unity. Like, these people are always good at speech, regardless of which country that you come from. All the politicians, all the presidents that we have in the democratic elected, they have all failed us. They only talk, they can never do anything. Some of you believe that your president, because of the speeches, the Pan-African way they speak, they love you, they are fighting. None of them is fighting for us. If truly these are leaders are actually fighting a good cause for all Africans, this time should have been the time that they will prove their Pan-Africanism to us, the preaches that they always preach. This is the time for them to put that into act. But we don't see that. And this African Union, we only hear of the African Union standby force when there is a coup. If it was a coup against a democratic government, we would have seen these people fighting, making sure that they stabilize the place. But because it is an African who is fighting the right cause, we've seen that they only issued a statement. Like Captain Ibrahim Traore will always tell us, even these statements that they issue, they write them for them. So these people have felt that they are the reason to which Africa is not moving forward, because our leaders are never ready to be leaders to fight for the total liberation of the African. Forget about the speeches that they give and look at all the countries that are neighboring countries of Mali that should have closed their borders, but these people are just making it look as if it is not our problem, we cannot control our borders, and that is the reason to which this has been the spirit of the African. We love slavery, we love to be oppressed, we love to sell our own selves into oppression because we think about ourselves and not the entire African race. And this is not who we are. The African always see the brother to be the brother. But that spirit has been taken away, and now we are thinking about what I will make out of the situation. And it's so shameful that in this 21st century, we have people who are still ready to watch their brothers and sisters who are fighting a just cause to liberate the African, doing nothing. Doing nothing. Leaving them. I think this is the time you, the African youth, must rise up. This is the time for us to collectively unite. Because if we continue to leave the fate of Africa into the hands of these our leaders, these democratic elected, we will never go anywhere. Because they prefer to be giving us speeches and do nothing. And that has always been the approach of these our leaders. So you listen to what they say and you think they are like that. They are never like that. The only people now in Africa that are fighting for the total liberation of the African is the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Because they have nationalized their resources, making sure the resources in their countries are used to benefit the people. But what do we see in those democratic elected, apart from speech and moving from one IMF, one country, to be begging? Nothing more, portraying the continent to the whole world that we are poor. It saddens my heart. And today, if not because of Russia, these African leaders would have been watching. And after everything has succeeded, you will see these people moving into Mali to go and bring another puppet to come and serve the interests of the oppressor. It's a shame We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall. And united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we'll make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Mali.